at number 80, we have Darkrai. Darkrai made it on the list because he's got a pretty cool design and concept. He's the Nightmare Pokemon, and he actually has a pretty good nature towards people. Like, he doesn't hate people, and he just has a side effect of causing nightmares. So, people don't like him because he causes nightmares and stuff. But he doesn't really mean to. Like, if you watch the movie with him and he's trying to, save the lives of Pokemon, which, is pretty amazing. And he just looks awesome. I mean, look at him. Yeah. Anyways, number 80, Darkrai. Coming in at slot number 79 is the electric type Luxray. The reason why I chose Luxray, even though, I'm not that fond of electric types, I'm not that fond of Shinx, but Luxray has a pretty nice design. I like its design. It kind of reminds me of a lion, and it's just got those awesome colors and all of that fun stuff. And let's see. It's a fortune Pokemon, electric type. I think it actually probably should have been dark type as well, and they didn't make it dark type. But, it was a pretty cool addition to the team. You could get it pretty early on. It was amazing. So that's Luxray coming in at number 79. Coming in at number 78 is Farfetch'd. I really just liked this guy. He kind of reminded me of a duck. I mean, he's probably also a duck. But he's just got that strange obsession with that leek. And it was cute. It was charming. I've liked him since the first generation. When you can get him, I think he's nicknamed Shingding. I love those original nicknames. They were pretty awesome. But yeah, Farfetch'd and his leek. There's actually not that much to say about my liking Farfetch'd. He's a duck with a leek. He's like a soldier. Beats people with his leek. So, Farfetch'd coming in at number 78. Coming in at number 77 is Dodrio. You know the expression, 2 heads are better than one? Well, with this Pokemon, it's even better than that. It's got 3 heads. It's kind of an interesting Pokemon. Each one of its heads feels like they've got competing like emotions and stuff. It's 3 different heads, 3 different brains. Each have different emotions, feelings, ideas. And so it's, and on one of its cards it says, while 2 heads sleep, 1 stays awake. It's pretty awesome that 2 heads sleep while 1 stays over and watches and then, make sure that no harm comes to it. It's amazing. So, Dodrio coming in at number 77. Coming in at number 76 is Aerodactyl. This rock flying type, oddly enough, does not have a ×4 weakness to ice, because, well, rock is not weak to ice. This fossil Pokemon comes from the Old Amber, which originally was found in the Pewter City Museum after you learned to cut. He ended up being on several Elite Four members' teams, even the Champions team once or twice. And in Generation 6, he gets a nice new Mega Evolution, which looks pretty awesome, actually. I like his new design with the Mega Evolution. I like what they did with him. He's he's been a favorite of mine since I first laid eyes on him. I've always been partial to the dinosaur Pokemon. He's obviously a take on Pterodactyl. So, number 76, Aerodactyl. Coming in at number 75 is Dragalge. Dragon Poison? The Dragon Poison type, which is new to 6th generation. It kind of looks like sea algae or kelp or seaweed. And it's a nice, interesting combination of typing, considering that the new introduction of Fairy put an actual considerable damper on the power of dragon types, but because it's Dragon Poison, it cancels out the Fairy weakness and gives it an advantage over Fairy types. And would you just look at that shiny sprite? That shiny sprite is miraculous. Like, I love it. Like, it's purple. It got a nice blue body. It's got a nice little headdress. It's just all around a beautiful thing. So, yeah. Number 75, Dragalge. Coming in at number 74 is Spiritomb. I know a lot of people like Spiritomb or have liked Spiritomb at one point or time because of its unique, not really unique typing between two different Pokemon. It shares that with, now I'm blanking on the name, Sableye. It shares its typing with Sableye. It is a dark ghost. Formerly, it did not have weaknesses. Now, with the introduction of Fairy, it's now only weak to Fairy type, so less powerful than it was before. But Spiritomb was really, really hard to get in the original 4th Gen games because in order to get it, you had to find the odd keystone, put it into the tower, and then have enough friends who played the game. You had to meet like 100 some odd, like 30 to 100, I think. I can't remember whether or not it was 30 people or 100 people you had to meet in the underground pass, and they had to be different people. You had to meet 30 to 100 different people in the underground, and then you have to go back to the tower, and then you have to fight it and capture it. That's really complicated. But on the plus side, it can be bred, so, the first few people had the difficult job of getting it for the rest of us. However, after that, you get it off, the Grand Exchange for free, giving up maybe your legendary or something, and then you breed a few of them, and you get more you get your legendary back. So, pays off in the end. So it's got a beautiful design. It's got the odd keystone built into its design, and it kind of takes its lore into background. It's like 100 or so evil spirits trapped within the stone, and then once you release them, they take this form, and like the green dots are kind of like the spirit, and it's kind of coalition of evil spirits joined into one Pokemon, and it's awesome. It's got a nice design, and it's just amazing. So, number 74, Spiritomb. Yeah, number 74, Spiritomb. Coming in at number 73 is Magnezone. This third evolution of the Magnemite line was introduced in Gen 4, despite the beginning 2 being in Gen 1. And you have to level it up in a very specific place depending on what generation you're playing it in. But I like its unique kind of UFO-y design while still incorporating the original Magnezones into it. It's got some really good design. It's got some really good move pools. It's really strong, hard to take out. I like its shiny sprite, which I may or may not have a picture of floating around here somewhere. So all in all, it's a good Pokemon. It's an interesting Pokemon. It's got nice typing. It does have a quadruple, I think that's the quadruple weakness to ground types. But when you use the magnetic rise ability, you can get rid of that for a few turns. It's just a really good, sturdy Pokemon, and I love it to death. So, that's another steel type for you. So number 73, Magnezone. Number 72 is Swablu. This cottony bird thing looks pretty cute. It's pretty awesome. I was playing a Pokemon tabletop adventure, which is essentially Dungeons and Dragons but converted into Pokemon. And I had a Swablu that I never kept in the Pokeball, and it just sat on my head. I really like the Swablu. I like its design. I like what it turns into, the Altaria, which is essentially it with a longer neck and giant, more fluffy wings that acts as a coat and vibrates and hums in your ear if it really, really likes you. But I really do like its golden sprite. Its wings stay the same color, but it goes from a blue body to a golden yellow body. It looks really good, and the Altaria continues that same coloration, and it's just really cool. Goes from normal flying to dragon flying. It's a pretty interesting design, although it's not really all that strong, but it's still, to me, one of my favorite Pokemon. I mean, not the most favorite, but it's still one of my favorite Pokemon. Enough that, it appeared on this list. So, number 72, Swablu. Number 71 is Absol, I think, pure dark type right now. It's got a nice design. It's called the Disaster Pokemon. It doesn't actually bring disaster, it just foretells disaster. And if it likes you enough, it will actually warn you of said disaster. So it's actually a pretty interesting idea, a pretty interesting concept, although people misunderstand it in the Pokemon world because of its ability to predict disasters and be able to warn people of them. People feel that it brings the disaster, even though it really doesn't. It's kind of like a more accurate weatherman. It's like a weatherman, but a whole lot better. And it's just really awesome. And it gets a pretty neat mega form in X and Y 6th gen. It just becomes more awesome. There's not really, I lack words to describe how awesome Mega Absol is. And I like it's shiny, even though I didn't find a picture of it shiny. It's featured in, I think, the Jirachi movie. And it's just all around a cool, interesting, well-constructed Pokemon idea. And I like it. So, number 71, Absol.